and duly whine or complain, but reason among ourselves and see what can be done to remedy this state of affairs. Life is a conflict. You have to fight your way through it whether you will it or not. That's right. Those of us who are able to fight most stubbornly live, accomplish most, and to them go the laurels, the palms, and triumph of our civilization and world. Islam.
You are now tuned into the cosmos. It will show. It will show. You are now tuned into the cosmos. It will show. It will show.
Gratitude for tuning in. So stick with me, Morris. This ain't gonna be too much longer, inshallah. But we know time never was, more. We feeding off our ether plane right now, our native ether plane.
Yes, Lord.
So in this Holy Quran Circle 7, we got chapter 3, Elihu's lessons, the unity of life. And key one say again, Elihu met his pupil in the sacred groves and said, and the second key, no man live unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. Blessed are the pure at heart, they will love and not demand love in return. They will not do unto other men as they will not have other men do unto them. Now see, that's the divine love right there. Loving for the sake of love, loving for the sake of Allah, loving for the sake of your fellow man. Not loving because you want someone to say, ooh, you love me so much, or to get something in return. Because once you get something in return, and you say, here, you know, a lot of people mess up their blessing when you go and you give somebody, hey, you know what, here, take this $20, you know, let me give you this. Then later on down the line, you know, you in need and you go to them and you say, hey man, can I get $20? They say, I ain't got it, brother. You like, didn't I give you that $20, man? So now what you, you know, and you ain't got $20 for me. So now what you've done is you turn that love into a transaction. It's business. You might as well ask for a receipt.
Islam.
The divine love, Islam, divine love don't come with no receipt. It come with it's recorded in Allah's record book, and the blessings and the blessings come from Allah for that. But take note that it says, blessed are the pure at heart, for they will love. So we got purity preceding love again.
Mm-hmm.
And what we read, we're talking about every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. So that's the first kind of unity, is the unity of life. And we're all participating in that unity willingly and unwillingly. And this is a sign for us. How we participate is up to us.
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
Islam.
Then I want to talk about unity of mind. Unity of mind. And this is a very important unity, because if I were to ask everybody on this call what unity means, and we haven't all looked it up and got the same definition, we all going to have a different definition. And this is why you can't have unity of mind. You can't have unity of mind because Allah have given everyone his portion, in which method seemeth good unto himself. Communicated to the ignorant for instruction, communicated to the wise for thine own improvement. So everyone have different portions. So if you're looking for someone to understand everything on your portion, then that's not in tune with what Allah said. The various portions and the variety is so that we can bring those portions together, and we can solve problems in our nation, our environment, in our family, and in ourselves. So not everyone in any nation thinks alike, and it's that diversity in thinking that allows a nation to be dynamic, that allows for new inventions, that allows for new techniques to be developed, new arts, various styles. This is very important. But sometimes when we deal, say, even in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we think that we're all supposed to think the same. That's not natural, Moors. Islam?
Islam. Right.
What we have to do is seek to understand each other on the level where we're at, because Allah put us on different levels. and not to try to impose one level on another, but to understand one another and be humble with ourselves. Even when we deal with somebody that we may consider a fool, right? We're supposed to hear with patience their impertinence and pity their absurdity. Hear with patience. And I used to think, you know, I'll admit to y'all at some point in my studies, I used to think I was so heavy that when people be talking, I just go to outer space. I'm not even listening to what they saying. I'm waiting to speak, you know, because I'm like, I know this subject. I need to be speaking on this subject, not you. You don't know this subject. So let me speak on this subject. Like, you don't know nothing about this Moorish science. You're not even a Moorish scientist. So why should I be listening to you and I'm trying to teach you Moorish science? But then I said, all right, you know what? Let me hear with patience their impertinence. I'm still in my vanity. Let me hear with patience their impertinence and pity their right? You know, but then when I started to listen, I realized that I could still learn things. That people did have things to say, even it may not have been on the topic of what I was an expert in. I actually learned things that I would not have otherwise learned had I not opened my ears, if I kept going to outer space. So even in that key, if we don't purify our intention, we can still be puffed up with our vanity.
That's smart.
You know, be like, I'm gonna pity the absurdity fool and listen to what he got to say. But really, it's like, be patient. Patience come first. And you're like, wait a minute. Oh, wow, that was pretty deep. I didn't know that.
That's smart.
You know, it wasn't what I was necessarily on or what I was talking about, but Allah speaks to man through man, so it was definitely what I needed to hear.
That's
Islam. So unity of mind, we have to be careful of that, because that becomes a divisive thing. And then when someone doesn't think or draw like us, now we're at odds with one another. And we see this play out every day. Then we have unity of understanding. And I kind of spoke about that a little bit, because that's where we come together and we bring those portions together. And now we have an opportunity, and this is such a beautiful thing, to observe what Allah had put on someone else's heart.
Islam.
To observe the portion that Allah had given someone else. He didn't give us that portion. And I mean he in the sense of the word, not in the entity.
Islam.
That portion wasn't given to us. How blessed are we to have somebody come share that portion that was given to them with us, so that we can add it to our portion. Islam?
Islam.
Isn't that a powerful?
Oh.
Imagine if Allah gave you $100, right? You like, alhamdulillah, praise Allah. I found $100 walking on the street or however you got. And then suppose Allah gave someone else $1,000, right? And that person that found that $1,000 came and said, hey, you know what? Let's put my 1,000 and your 100 in the bucket. We can all share.
Generous. That's smart.
You see what I'm saying? So you never know what you're missing out by just holding on to your portion over here. You might think that you have the portion of all portion, but Allah may have given somebody else something more. So by being able to come together in unity and share with one another like we're doing tonight, we're able to grow exponentially and not just at the pace of our own pace. That's the beauty in that. Unity of understanding. Now, unity of faith, or unity in faith. Unity in faith is a beautiful thing, because if we're sincere and we've been given revelation and we've been given instructions, then what happens now is when we're in unity together as a body, and things come up where we disagree with each other because of those portions, and we aren't able to synthesize those portions ourselves, because of our faith, we have revelations and we have instructions that now we can say, hey, you know what? Let's take it to the book. Let's take it to the book and let the book decide. No interpretation from me or you. Let's just read it together. It say, no man live unto himself. So one person might say, hey, you know what? I think the hermit lifestyle is the best lifestyle, you know, right. And have a lot of reasons on why being a hermit is the best thing. And we can't agree on that. Well, let's see what the book says. It said, no man live unto himself. For every living thing is bound by cord to every other living thing. You know what, brother? We can't live separate as a hermit. That's not our custom. It's not our tradition. It tells us right here that no man live unto himself, and that everything, not just every man, everything is bound by cord to every other living thing. So it must not be a good thing to cut ourselves off permanently, of course, because we know that our brother Jesus or Yahshua or Isa, whatever name you use, separate himself for a minute, but didn't live in separation forever. He came out of that separation and came back and joined the bands of society. So that's just an example of unity of faith. You know, how we gonna make our, how we gonna spend the money that we gather together for charity. You know, there's rules, there's guidelines, there's outlines that now we can come outside of our own portions and our own understandings and apply it together, apply it with the science, the revelation, and the information that's left for us. We can come to an agreement and come to a consensus, and now we can move as one. And mind you, that's a difficult thing to do for some.
Yes,
you know, to be able to move as one, but that's the very nature of unity. But most people are focusing on the unity of mind. And because they can't get that unity of mind, they can't move as one. We got to take it off of us and go to something higher so that there's balance. And now that's where the sincerity come in. Because now you say, no man live unto himself. Well, that mean this, brother, or that mean that, brother. Well, let's just take what it says. You know, we don't have to go into this interpretation or that interpretation because this one is clear. There's some we might have to do that, but this one isn't. See, the problem when everything becomes an interpretation, then we know something is wrong. Allah says in the Holy Quran of Mecca, there are those verses that are to be interpreted, and there are those verses that are clear cut. He said the disbelievers and the hypocrites, they love the ones that need to be interpreted. That's where they live at.
Islam.
You know, and they don't want nothing to do with the ones that's clear and concrete. Well, I almost finished here. We got two more unities. So now unity of action. Unity of action. This is important not only on a spiritual level, but when it comes to the bands of society. And this one is important because it's the simplest form of unity. It doesn't require unity of mind. It doesn't require unity of faith even. It doesn't require the unity of life in the sense that already exists. So it's not anything that we need to, it's just like breathing. It's already there. We don't have to worry about that.
That's not.
And unity of action is like this. All right. We may not agree. You might be Muslim. You might be Christian. Say we all Moors though. And we all need certain basic things as Moors. If we all standing around in a circle and having a debate and can't agree on nothing, and one of us drop down and look like we dead, what you gonna do?
Islam.
Anybody?
Islam try to get him to a hospital.
Right.
Try to get him to a
CPR, if you know Islam.
CPR. All right. So we see that this person is in need of some type of medical attention or some type of healing. So preemptively, we can say, hey, you know what? We as Moors need our own hospital. We need a hospital. Why? Because we all need that. Something can happen to us at any time. No matter what we believe, no matter what we think, no matter what faith, we all need a hospital. We all need food. We all need housing. We all need clothing. We all need the basic necessities of life. So those are things that we can act towards, even though we don't agree with one another on everything, on faith or anything else. You think the people that work in a hospital all have the same faith, or all have the same degree of understanding, or all have the same? And you know what? On a side note, most people that work in the corporate world, half the people in the office don't even like one another.
That's real thought.
But they work together with a level of professionalism, regardless of the fact that they like one another or can't get along. They keep that level of professionalism because they got a job to do, regardless of all of that. And that's heal people in a hospital. That's heal people and take care of people's lives. In our case, it's more, we don't have our own hospital. So we know we need that if we unsatisfied with the care that is given to us by others. We know that we need this off the top. So we can form a unity based on action. But that requires only the professionalism needed to get that action done. And then when we're outside of that action, we're back in our own bands of society, and we don't have to be bothered with the irritation of this mo or that mo or anything else. But we still got our society running. We still got our businesses running. We still got our hospitals running. But a lot of times we get into a little something with a more, and it's get into a little emotional outburst or breakout or something, and then that's it.
That's it. That's not.
End up it all. We got to be better than that if we want to be able. Why? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the sister brought up a very important word. Sister Lovey Ill brought up a very wonderful word. Posterity. Future generations. The first posterity is your children. Right? That's the first gen. It's right now you got Gen X, you got in this generation, this gen. We still all here on the planet Earth, so don't take that word and think that the generation got to be something 100 years down the line. Do well while thou livest, and thy posterity shall rejoice in hearing it. See? Well, we founded this hospital so that we can heal our people. Your posterity is going to rejoice in hearing that and knowing that, wow, my brother, my mother, my sister, my cousin, whoever contributed, they actually did something and left something for our society. They're not going to rejoice at all this bickering and generational curses that Moors keep passing down from generation to generation. Arguments of old dead men. Here no more. We got to rise above that for our posterity. And now I get to the topic which was known as unity of purpose. So first we have to define purpose. Purpose is something that is set up as an object to an end. Something that is set up as an object to an end. For what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
The purpose of uplifting fallen humanity. For what purpose was the Moorish Science
For the purpose of uplifting fallen humanity. So when we think about what the Moorish Science Temple of America is set up for, or any of its affiliate auxiliaries or anything that acknowledge the divine constitution and bylaws, its first purpose is for the uplifting of fallen humanity. It's not for the upliftment of the national Grand Sheik. It's not for the upliftment of this sheik or that sheik, unless they came from fallen humanity. Of course, they're going to get lifted up. That's a blessing. But it's for the uplifting of fallen humanity. And as sheiks and as sheikesses, in order for you to be able to uplift someone, you got to be up.
Islam. Islam.
You can't uplift nobody down there with them. So in order to uplift, you got to be up. That means you got to be on a higher plane. And you're trying to bring somebody up to a higher plane of life. See, the uplifting of fallen humanity means that when someone comes into the Moorish Science Temple of America, they're going to experience a higher quality of life.
Islam.
I'll say that again. A higher quality of life. So if you're not experiencing a higher quality of life yet, then you got to go back. First of all, look at the intentions of, well, why am I here? Some people knew they might have just came yesterday. Praise Allah. But your goal is to be experiencing a higher quality of life. That means the experience becomes better. Life becomes better. It becomes something that is a joy. It becomes something that you're better off than where you were before you came.
Islam.
You don't come to Moorish Science Temple of America and then get bust down. You don't come to the Moorish Science Temple of America and your life was peaceful, and then you start dealing with more folly than the Lord allowed. Coming from sheiks and sheikesses and anybody else that got titles. No, you should be experiencing something better.
Islam.
But in order to do that, right? In order to do that, you have an instruction in your divine constitution and bylaws. And I want to say this, and I want it to resonate with everyone on this call, old and new. Purify your heart and mind with love, and your body's clean with water. Keep your hearts and minds pure with love, and your bodies clean with water. We talked about purity. We talked about love. Wait a minute. You can purify yourself with love?
Islam.
So love is purity.
Purity is love.
Divine love. Type of love that we started off with in chapter 3. Loving and not demanding love in return. Not doing unto other men as you would not have other men do unto you. That's purity. Don't make it complex. You purify your heart and your mind with love. And then you keep your body clean with water. The body clean with water. Some of us, we go through a purification ritual. But you got to keep your hearts and minds pure with love. It didn't just say purify once, and keep your bodies clean with water.
Praise Allah.
Water is a spirit. Water has memory. So all that stuff you've been doing that your body have adjusted to, when you purify your body with water, that memory is coming and taking that memory and washing it away. Like when we were standing here in Hawaii and we had these thoughts of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally in all lands and to all nations. The water is taking that with its memory, going into the ocean and spreading it all throughout the earth.
Islam.
So you gotta let that energy come up off of you. So sometimes when you feeling that the lower self is getting you, go take a shower. Cleanse yourself. Put on some white. You ain't gotta wait till Sunday. You ain't gotta wait till Friday. When you doing a 7-day fast, wear white. Keep yourself clean each day. And elevate. This is important. Because without the divine love, we're subject to an earthly love, a carnal love. And that's not going to give us the salvation that we need. The salvation comes with putting something higher first that we all agree upon. So that when issues come about, we know that Allah judged the world in equity and truth.
Yes, no.
So praise Allah, brothers and sisters. I pray that we're able to be unified in our purpose, and which is the uplifting of fallen humanity. And like the brother said, the problems in life, quoting Prophet Noble Drew Ali, are largely economic, and in a more profound sense, they're moral and spiritual. So I pray that we can have that unity of purpose and allow us to come together under this unity of purpose, which we have done, and begin that unity of action, which will help us in that divine, in that earthly salvation, and also have that unity of purpose and that unity of faith, so that we can also deal with the problems that are profoundly moral and spiritual within our band of society. Because we have a mighty work to do. And if you weren't called to do it, you wouldn't be here on this phone call right now. Take it step by step. Love one another, purify your intentions, and whatever issues that you have with one another, first pray to Allah, and then come to each other with the loving and open heart, and a promise to do better. Because other than Allah, since Allah joined us all together like this, because it's Allah alone that joins the hearts, not just in the marriage between a man and a woman. It's Allah alone that joins the hearts, that joined all our hearts. We are, other than Allah, we all we got.
Islam.
Other than Allah, we all we got. And we can do this. But we can't do it if we're not willing to be humble, if we're not willing to purify, and we're not willing to treat one another with love, honor, and respect, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice at all times. Like it says in Moorish Leaders' Historic Message to America. Keep this at all times. And with that, brothers and sisters, I leave you how I came in the humble words of peace. Islam, I yield the floor.
Islam.
We will not unduly whine or complain, but reason among ourselves and see what can be done to remedy this state of affairs. Life is a conflict. You have to fight your way through it, whether you will it or not. That's right. Those of us who are able to fight most stubbornly live, accomplish most, and to them go the laurels, the palms, and triumph of our civilization and world.
You are now